All right, let's take a look at part 3 of the algebra final review. First question. The graph of y1 equals to this and y2 equals to that are shown on the coordinate grid. So we have two graphs and they represent y1 and y2. What is the value of x that makes the equation this and that, this equals to that, true? All right, this looks like a complex situation. However, if you can tell that the left side is exactly, that's y1, and the right side is exactly y2, and you can tell basically you're doing y1 equals y2, or the common solution for the two graphs. And as long as you understand that, you will know that you're actually looking for the intersection of the two graphs. Intersection of the two graphs, and that intersection will be here. Okay, that will be the common solution. And the question is asking for the value of x at that point. So the value of x at that point will be about between 4 and 6. That should be a 5. So therefore, the value of x that makes the equation true, that makes y1 and y2 satisfy both of them. The intersection, the x value is 5. It's 5. So D. Next, let's go to question 2. Question 2. Which of the following describes all the solutions to the inequality? This inequality. All right. Check out the options. We are we need to solve this inequality. So let's go ahead and solve it. For this inequality, we can basically treat this as an equal sign. Okay, you can treat this as an equal sign. And so all the techniques we used will apply. So we want to keep all x on one side and we want to separate the numbers to the other side. Therefore, we will move this 4 to the other side. Okay. After you move, this will flip. Let's remember that. So after you move, this will be a negative 3x and followed by negative 8x. Greater than 21. After we move it, this will flip to a negative 4. And this side will be like a 17, right? So the right side will be a 17. The left side, negative 3x, subtract 8. That's going to be a negative 11x, right? Negative 11x. And if we are treating an equation here, you're going to do the divide, right? You're going to do the divide. You're going to divide by the multiply of x. So multiplied by negative 11, you will just gonna divide by negative 11. And this side, you also do that. So if you do this, they will cancel out. Multiply and divide, they will cancel out. So you will have x, and on the other side you will have a negative 17 over 11. Okay, this is they cannot be simplified, so it's just like that. Now, do you if we suppose this is going to be still like the same sign, if you check the options, you will see there's no such an option for this. We only have a similar one, that's C, but C says less than. Well, the reason is, remember, this is actually the only difference between inequality and equation. For an equation, if you divide by this, this will, just divide. While for inequality, if you divide by a negative number, here we divided by negative 11. If you divide by negative number, this sign will also flip. This sign will also flip. So this sign will, when it flip, greater than becomes less than. So it will change the direction. Greater than will flip to less than. Okay, and so that's the only difference. That's the only difference between equation and inequality. If you divide by a negative number, the inequality sign will flip. So here it will become x is less than that number. X is less than that number, and the answer should be C. Should be C. And from the number line, you can tell it's from the negative 17 over 11 and goes to the left. And the left is less, so it's less than this number. And also this empty circle, it means it's not equal to, okay? It means it's less than, so it's empty circle. Suppose if it's less than and equal to, then you have a solid number. Here, it's empty because it's not equal to. It's not equal to. Okay, so this question, the answer is C. Now let's go to question 3. Question 3. The costs for renting a cab at the yellow cab company and the blue cab company are shown in the graph below. Yellow and the blue, okay, 2 lines. And this graph shows us distance traveled in miles versus the total cost. So this looks more like the pricing chart. At approximately what distance traveled in miles would the cost be the same for each cab company, and what would be the approximate cost? Okay, before we jump into the options, let's read the question again. At what approximately distance traveled? So that will be distance traveled, that's x. So this is at what x would the cost be the same for each cab company? The cost will be the y, okay? They'll have the same y, and what would be the approximate cost? Okay, at what x will they have the same y? Okay, will they have the same y? All right, so basically if we check the different y's, they only share the same y at this point, right? That's the common solution. That's the intersection. That's when they have the same y. The 2 lines, they have the same y, and that y will be $8. Okay, the same y, the same cost of $8. Well, at what distance? The distance is, for this point, we can tell that will be 3 miles. That means at 3 miles, both cab companies will have the same cost of $8. Now let's check the options we have. 8 miles, no. So it's 3 miles for $8. So 2 miles, no. 5 miles, no. 3 miles, and the cost is $8. Okay, so the answer will be D. The answer will be D. Be mindful about A. A is just they mistook the 8 and 3. 3 miles, $8. Okay, the answer is D. Let's go to question 4. The cost for renting a cab at the yellow cab company and the blue. Okay, so it's the same graph, right? That's the same graph. At approximately what distance traveled in miles? That's at what x? At what x? Would the cost be the same for each cab company, and what would be the approx? Oh, that's the same question. So we have the same question, right? Yeah, that's the same question. Oh, we're looking at question 3. Okay, let's go to question 4. I'm sorry, my bad. Question 4. What value makes of x makes the equation true? So solving the equation, let's write it down. Okay, let's also write down the steps. First, you need to unpack. And second, you will separate. Lastly, you will divide. That's the steps to do the equations. Now, first, let's unpack. This parenthesis, when we unpack, this will be the 3 outside multiplied by each term inside. Okay, it will be like this. So 3 times x, and 3 times -6, that's a -18, equals, there's no parentheses, we copy this 8x. And here, this is a -3, okay? Consider this as a -3, and that will multiply by each term inside. -3 times 3x, this is going to be a -9x. And -3 times 7, this is going to be a -21. -21, okay? Be careful with this -3. You have to use -3 to multiply by each term inside the parentheses. Now let's further separate. We want to move all the x to this side, all the numbers to the other side. So we're going to move this to this side, we're going to move this to this side, and we're going to move the 18 to that side. All right, one by one. 3x, copy that. 8x moved to this side will become a -8x. And -9x move to the other side, it will flip, become a +9x. Okay? And we're done with the left side. And this side, -18 move to the right side, will become a +18. So we will have a -21 plus 18. Okay? And let's simplify them just by putting them together. 3x plus 9x, that's 12x. Then subtract 8x, that will be a 4x. And this -21 plus 18 will be it's -3. Okay, you can use a calculator to verify. And by the way, let's just quickly go over our calculator. So if we do -21 plus 18, you will have a -3. Okay. And lastly, when we have this, lastly we'll divide. Divide by 4. X was multiplied by 4, so we divide by 4, they will cancel. And also divided by 4 on the other side. And this cancel, this will become just 1x equals -3/4. So that will be the answer. And the answer will be -3/4. That will be C. Okay, that will be C. Okay, let's do question 5. There's an equation, and what is the value of x that makes it true? So solve the equation. Is that divide by 5? Yeah, I guess that's divide by 5. Divide or hold on. Let's Let me check, is it divide or plus, right? I will do both and see if this is a divide or plus. I guess that's a plus. So 3x subtract 10x, this will be a negative 7x. Suppose this is a plus, okay? Let's suppose that's a plus 5 equals 5x plus 7. All right, and then we will just separate this 5x. We move it to this side. This will become a negative 5x. So negative 5x subtract 7x equals to this 5. We move it to the other to the other side. This will become 17 subtract 5, because this will become a negative. And then we will have negative 5x subtract 7x. This will be a negative 12x equals 12. And lastly, we divide by the multiply of x. X was multiplied by negative 12. You just divide by negative 12. And this will also divide by negative 12. And so here they will cancel, and x will be a negative 1. Okay, x will equal to negative 1. All right, and here do you still remember about the inequality? Here actually this this equal sign, when divided by a negative number, this equal sign, you can think of it as actually it also flip, but you know, for the equal sign, even if it flip, it's still equal. So x equals to negative 1, and the answer will be D. Okay, question 6. What is a graph for that function? Negative 2x subtract 5y equals negative 10. All right, there will be multiple ways to do that. The easiest way is to rewrite this into y equals mx plus b. And because from the graphs we can tell their y-intercept, and then we can compare with that formula, then we can probably we can make a quick decision. Well, let's do the first thing. Let's rewrite this into the form. Remember, to do that, we want just y on the one side. We don't want this negative 2x. So we want to move this negative 2x to the other side, and that will flip. So you have negative 5y equals negative 10, and this will become positive 2x plus 2x. And then we only need one y. We don't want a negative 5y. So we similarly will divide by negative 5, because by doing so, they will cancel. You have just one y, and we'll divide by negative 5 on the other side. Okay, now let's finish that. And when you divide, these two will cancel, so they will have just one y. And here, negative 10 divided by negative 5 is going to be a positive 2. And 2 divided by negative 5, that's going to be a negative 0.4x. All right. If you're not sure, we can use the calculator to verify. Okay, I will just tell you the result, but you can do it on the calculator. Negative 2 over 5. Negative 2 over 5. Okay, and we can say this number. What is the m? M is this one. Okay, this is the m, because m is in front of x, and 2 will be the y-intercept. Okay, so you should be able to tell the number in front of x, that's m. The number just stand alone, that's the b. So b is 2. That means the graph will cross the y-axis at 2 should at here. So this one, it does not cross at 2, so this one is wrong. And this one, yes, it's at 2. This one is cross at 5, not 2, so this is wrong. And D is correct. It cross at 2. So B and C and D, they have the correct B. They have the correct B. B is 2, and B is 2. Now, how do we pick from C and D? How do we pick from C and D? So let's judge by the slope. We know the slope is, let's clear up. The slope is a negative one. A negative slope will be going right and down, okay? Negative slope. It will be going right and down. And if you compare C and D, only D will be a negative M. C is going right and up. C will have a positive slope. Even though we didn't just try to find out exactly how much is that, but we can tell C has positive slope and D has negative slope. So it's gonna be D, right? C, the slope is wrong, and D is correct. So the answer will be D. The answer will be D. Question 7. Which graph can be used to determine the solution to a system of equations, this and that? Okay, so system of equations on the graph, that means we'll have two graphs. As long as you can tell which two are the two graphs, then you will be able to find out which graph is that. So we will do it on the calculator. Let me write it down. Negative 2y equals x plus 4, and negative 3x plus 2y is 12. It's 12. Okay, let's do it on the calculator. Let's go to home page, graph, menu, action, text. The first one is negative. Remember the negative sign is below 3. Okay, negative 2y equals x plus 4. That's the first one. And let's do the second one. Negative 3x plus 2y equals 12. Okay, and drag them to the. Okay, now we have it. That will be the two graphs. And if we, I would just, here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they have the solution at negative 4 and 0. And that's their shape. This one goes this, and this one goes that. Okay. And now we can compare to our options. Which one is close to this? That will be D, right? And then you can see it right away. That will be D, because the others, probably B, but definitely not A, not C, because they don't have that intersection. And we need to check it's B or D. Let's go check our graph again. I think, see, the two lines, they are basically almost perpendicular to each other. Okay, they are almost perpendicular to each other. And if we observe B and D, you will see D is more likely because D is almost perpendicular, and B, the two lines that they are too close to each other. Oh, and again, for B, if you check, both of the two lines have a positive M. Positive M. That means they're going up and right, going right and up. However, for D, that's one positive M and there's one negative M. One negative M. Okay? And our graph shows it's one positive, one negative. So the answer will be D. The answer will be D. Okay? By distinguishing their M and the B, okay, we can find out what is the graph. What is a graph? Okay. Number 8. Number 8. Which graph shows a function with a 0 of -5? With a 0 of -5, that's a funny how to say funny way of talking about stuff. Basically, that means a 0, that means y equals 0. Y equals 0, and of -5, that basically that means y equals 0 when x is -5. Okay, a 0 of -5, that means y equals 0 when x is -5. And if you understand this, that will be x is -5. That's C. That's C. Okay. If you understand that, you can just read it. It's C. The 0 means, remember, when we talk about 0, we say, hey, if you have a graph, we say it starts from here. That's the Y-intercept. Okay, that's a Y-intercept, or B, or initial value. Okay. And 0, that's when we talk about, we say, hey, when does this reach the ground? And that point, we call it a 0, or y equals 0. And a 0 of -5 means when it reached the ground, the x is a -5. Okay, so that's a meaning of 0 of -5. That's the answer will be C. All right, question 9. So just by looking at the two options, you know we are dealing with systems of equations. So you just read for their relationship. Let's see. Total number of tickets sold at Friday night football game was 1,650 total number. Okay, each adult ticket cost, oh, I think we did that. Adult ticket and each student ticket cost $2. The total revenue was, all right, so we did that. Let's quickly do this again. The total tells you student tickets plus adult tickets. The total number of tickets is 1,650. And the second total, so the total is very helpful. The second total is total revenue, and that will be student revenue plus adult revenue. The total is 4,650. Now, what is student revenue? Student revenue is the number of tickets sold multiplied by the price. So student cost $2 each. So this number of tickets multiplied by $2. Okay, that will be S multiplied by $2 each. And adult tickets is $3.50. So the number of adult tickets multiplied by $3.50 each. That will be $4,650 for both, for the student and the student revenue and adult revenue. That will be the two system of equations. So the answer will be A is wrong. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, they're asking for equations not, right? So that means of all the three, out of all the four options, 3 are correct. 1 is wrong. Okay, let's check. A plus S. Okay, this is correct. 3.5A plus 2S. Yeah, that's right. This basically it's like moving the S to the other side. Then you have A equals to that. So this is correct. This is correct. 3.5A plus 2S. Yeah, that's also correct. Now the third one. A plus S. Yes. 3.5A equals, right? So what happened here is move this to the other side. Then you have 3.5A equals 4,650, subtract 2S. So they are correct. Let's check the last one. A plus S, 1650, that's right. 2A plus 3.5, that's wrong. Because A is 350, so it's 3.5A, not 2A. That's wrong. And 2S, so these are wrong. That means the last one equation was wrong. So D cannot be the system of equation. All the others are correct, but D is wrong. So the answer will be D. Number 10. We have a graph of a line. Which of the following linear equation is the line that passes through the points -1, -2, and is perpendicular to the given line? Okay, this one is a little bit stretching. So let's see the point -1, -2, that's here. And also it has to be perpendicular. Suppose we have a line. And that passes that point and also is perpendicular like this. And we want to find out what is that equation. And first let's see the B, the y-intercept. We know B is negative. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to correct it. The point is -1 and -2. That's here. -1, -2. Okay, they make this even more complex. All right. There's a line that passes -1 and -2. Then what is the formula for that one? Okay, so first, I will say easier way to do is just check the options first. The options. Let's check the B. So B is 1. B is -1. B is -2. B is 2. All right. Let's observe this graph. The graph, the B is about here or here. Could it be a negative? No, it could not be negative. So if for those who give you the negative, those are likely wrong. So B is likely wrong, and C is likely wrong because we don't expect it to have a negative y-intercept. It should be above. It should be above. Now let's check A and D. Let's check A and D. For A, the m is negative 1 over 4. For D, m is 4. Or let's say A has a negative slope. D has a positive slope. Now what about this one? About this one? It should have a positive slope because it's going up and right. It's going up and right. So it should be D. It should be D. And remember, if you jump to A when you see B equals 1, you jump to A. You cannot, because what we did was not very accurate. We can see roughly this line will goes like that, but we're not drawing very accurate. And if we draw it very accurate, yeah, it probably will look like this. Look like this, and you can tell the intercept is B, and it has a positive m. Positive m. So, and then negative B, that's wrong. Negative B, that's wrong. Negative m, that's wrong. So the only answer will be D. The only answer will be D. Okay. Number 11. A system of two linear equations shown in this graph. Which system can be used to represent this graph? Okay, so again, you can use the graphing calculator, but probably you will need to graph all of them to tell which is which. Let's think about another way, either way. Let's do the last one, the second one first. See, if for this one, if we move y to the other side, we move the 3 to this to the left side, you will have 2x plus 3 equals y. That means you will have a line, one line that crosses the y-axis at 3 at here, and still goes up because it's positive x, positive m. So you should have one line that's like this, but we don't have that line. So that kind of can eliminate A. A is wrong. And why I picked the second one, because it's easier for us to put it into the form of 1y equals mx plus b. Okay, we put it into that form. And for the B, for the option B, let's move the 2x to the other side. Then you have y equals negative 2x plus 3. Okay, 2x become a negative 2x. And that's showing we should have a line that passes at 3 and goes down. It goes down. Okay, that seems right. That seems right. Okay, so this pass. Let's check the C. Let's check C. C is the same. This part is the same. So C is okay. Now let's check D. D is also the same. Okay, so we can eliminate A just by checking the second. But however, all B and C and D have the same one. Then that means we need to check. The first equation. The first equation. But still, we eliminated A. We eliminated A. Let's check this one. We move the 2y to the other side. It will become a positive 2y x. And we move the 2 to the other side. This will be a negative 2. Negative 2. And here you need to do one more step by divide by 2. Divide by 2. Then you will have y equals, this is y equals half x subtract 1. That means you should have a line that cross the y-axis at -1 and also goes up. But is this -1? I think -1 is up there. This is -1, right? So you should have a line like that, but we don't have a line there. So supposedly B is wrong. But let's check the others. For C, x subtract 2y equals 4. I move the 2y to the other side, move the 4 to this side, so it's x subtract 4 equals positive 2y. Then divide by 2, you will have half x subtracted 2 equals to 1y. And that means it will cross -2 and still goes up. And that match with the graph. So C seems to be correct. Now what about D? What about D? Well, if you check C and D, they are the same. C and D, they are the same. Maybe there's something wrong with the question itself. They are the same. Okay? In that case, we say C is correct and the same as D because they are the same. So C and D, both are the correct answers. All right? And that's a review for part 3 of the final review. Okay? We'll stop here.